is the pot about
nothing. Welcome to the part about nothing. I'm your co-host Nick Flair alongside
the Reggolution.
And today is our first live broadcast entitled, What Does the New Normal Look Like? What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? Because things are pretty different right now. And our idea of what normal is not like it was before. Isn't that right?
Everything is drastically different. Look at me. I'm in my own house. I got gloves on. I got my mask. It is a whole new world out there.
You gotta do what you gotta do, man.
And with the whole new world, we just gotta we're dubbing this. And again, as Nick Flair mentioned, this is our first live broadcast. So we want to thank all of our fans, all of our followers, all of our subscribers that have joined us today. We really appreciate you joining, just obviously during this whole pandemic. And what we want you, most importantly, to do is to subscribe to our channel.
If you haven't done it already, click that like button, click that subscribe button. Even if you don't know you like it yet, especially since we're live and it might suck, still click like. We'll appreciate it anyway. All right, so we're getting into this thing called the new normal. The place we're starting at is the place in which normalcy is most disrupted. And we're going to talk about what the new normal looks like in terms of work.
Man, everything has changed, right? Like, because of social distancing, and we have to obviously do our part. A lot of organizations, except for essential services, and a big shout out to essential services, especially the frontline workers who are doing their jobs on a daily basis to make sure that we're well taken care of. Things have drastically changed, right? There's a lot of remote working that's been happening. I've been working from home. Got a lot of friends that are working from home. Things are different. I think this actually forces people. Not just people, but companies to adjust to this new form of working. A lot of companies used to frown upon the whole idea of, if you're working from home, you're not doing anything. But now, you know what? You're forced to do it now.
You know what? No, for sure. One thing I will say is I was very jealous of people who used to get to work at home. Extremely jealous. You know what I'm saying? I have a friend named Kevin. I'm not going to say his last name because we go by his last name. But Kevin used to always throw in.
Is Kevin like this height? Is it the same Kevin?
He's like about that height. Yeah, he's about that height.
Okay, he's like this.
All right, so Kevin would throw in casual conversation. I'm just working from home this week, because he had the power to do so. It's a big shot at work, and if you were a big shot at work, you call the shots. And so he would work at home, and then I would be jealous because a lot of people would have not necessarily jobs in which they have to work from home, but it would be their choice in which they're choosing to work from home. And in working from home, I've come to realize right now in this new normal that it's not the picnic that I really initially thought. I thought if you're working from home, you're chilling half the time and you're eating what you want to eat, and you can take a break, you could take a nap, you could do all of these things. But working from home it's a real challenge mentally, because staying focused and making sure that all of your work is actually completed, that's a challenge in itself. That's a challenge that I wasn't necessarily mentally prepared for to take on. And it's something, I guess, that people have been doing throughout this whole epidemic, right?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people are like you in that same category, are not accustomed to that way of working. But for me personally, I love it. Reason why? Because I hate the pop-in. I like the pop-in when you can do it, when you go to somebody's house, ring on their doorbell. Yeah. I like that pop-in, but the pop-in when I'm actually doing work and I'm focused, I'm in my zone, I'm building presentations or doing whatever. I hate the shoulder tap or can I bother you for a minute, and the minute turns into half an hour because they're talking about their weekend. They're talking about something that I don't even want to listen to.
Right.
So I love being in my own zone. I get organized, focused. I know exactly. Right now, unfortunately, due to this pandemic, it has, it's been a challenge for everybody, especially when in the workforce, a lot of people have been impacted in terms of job loss. So let's talk about that for a bit.
Okay. So, I mean, when we're talking about the new normal, we're talking about the new well, we're talking about the new normal twofold. We're talking about the new normal in terms of what it looks like presently. So in terms of in the middle of the pandemic, what does it look like in terms of how it's affected our day to day, and what it's going to look like when the pandemic is over. So when the coronavirus is gone, COVID-19, when we come up with a solution for this, what is it going to look like in our job force? And one thing that you and I have talked about is the fact that because everything has come to a standstill, because business has come to a standstill, it's going to drastically affect our economy. And the trickle down effect is going to come down to average Joes like ourselves that are going to be in situations in which our job stability isn't the greatest anymore, right? We might have a whole, like, what constitutes the new normal in terms of being employed? What constitutes the new normal in terms of do you have a full-time job versus a part-time job? Like, these are questions in which we don't necessarily know the answers with just yet, but it's worth exploring.
Well, to touch upon that, I think the new normal brings, remember people used to say, well, my job is cushy. I don't think there's anything, we can't label a job as cushy anymore. And this is what whole COVID-19 has taught us. So there's a concept that I call consumer versus creators. There's two different types of people, right?
Right.
You go down the path of the consumer, which is the majority of people. You go in through your 9 to 5, you're going through the motions and this and that. You have that cushy job. There's a sense of security there. You got your 401k, you got your pension, depending on where you live in, and you're kind of you're just banking on that. But as a creator, which is that other path, which is the road less traveled. It's a bumpy road. And I think in this new normal, it's the creators, the ones that are going to be proactive, going to be creative in terms of creating something new, creating something innovative, being curious. I think that's going to propel and be the launch pad for people to sustain and maintain their jobs.
No, I think that's an excellent point. I think that what isolation has done a lot in terms of, and this is just me going by social media and what people are posting, right? And people that are in isolation, they've been forced to break two ways, right? And way number one is they're kind of just they're confined to themselves and they're being super quiet, and they're just they're kind of sorting things out right now. But way number two is that people are starting to find out what their passions are. They're starting to get into things that they're realizing, hey, this is something that I enjoy doing. And I could see that potential career paths are being forged as a result of people having this idle time, or they're having this time to think now. They might not have had these opportunities to really think about what they really wanted out of life in terms of like career trajectory or whatever. And just to touch upon your point about creating, now that people have the time to think about it, they might be solving different ways and different methods in which they can actually figure out to do the things they want to do, and by means of creating.
Totally agree with you 1,000%. It's that time that's being given to you, because when are we ever in our wildest dreams ever thought this would happen? Number one, this is going to go down in history for us in our lifetime. But really and truly, the world is on pause. So as an individual, you get a chance to really sit down, as you mentioned, with yourself, reflect, think about what you're passionate about, and go after that. And that's why I go down that path of being a creator. Hone in on what you really want to do. Find out what your gift is. Take this time, because who knows when we're going to get a time like this ever again.
Hopefully we don't get a time like this ever again. But I feel what you're saying.
I know. You know what? I don't like wearing the mask, but I gotta wear the mask. I got tape.
And just to touch upon what you're saying, man, because there's people that could take this time and use it two different ways. Like we're talking about people discovering their passions, but at the same token, maybe there's people that are using this time unproductively, right? And they might be using this time to, I don't know, catch up on shows that they want to watch. And I know that that's initially the initial thing you want to do, but now that we've been doing it for so long, the watching shows or like what's the newest album to listen to. That kind of stuff kind of runs a bit stale, right? So now people are trying to find means of being productive is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, no. And the thing is, we are going to touch upon those types of people in terms of like what kind of shows they're watching, how's everybody staying entertained. And you know what? Everybody that's viewing right now, we want you to join the conversation. Like, write in the chat, write in the comments. What do you think about the new normal? How do you think it's going to impact the workforce? Have you been impacted as a result of COVID-19? And if you have, from a job perspective, what are you doing to reinvent or recreate yourself? Join us. Now, let's move on to like dating and relationships / friendships.
Oh, this is a very provocative topic.
I love this
provocative topic. All right, so relationships. Now, relationships. There's a multitude of different types of relationships, right? There are the dating relationship. There's marriage is another relationship. Friendships another relationship. Family is another relationship. We could start at the shallow end of the pool, right? Shallow end of the pool is probably dating, you know. And as two guys, we're not presently dating right now. What can you imagine? Pardon?
What was that? I said, you said we're not dating right now. I said, yeah, I know. I'm taking time for myself. Self-isolation. Social distance.
That's a classic meme right now. So as two guys, we're not presently dating. What can you imagine that a dating game would look like in quarantine? So like, I do remember what it was like to date. And dating
I gotta say a big shout out to Schwarmsky. He just bigged us up. He said this is the best podcast of all time.
What happened?
Okay, not all time. I have to paraphrase there for you, Schwarmsky. So big up to you. Thank you. Big shout out. Thank you for joining the conversation. Go ahead, Nick.
Okay. So anyhow, what dating looks like. Oh, you did. Oh, he might have liked that person we referenced earlier on in the show. But it's all good. So dating. What does it look like to go on a date in quarantine? Now, do you do these virtual dates? Do you like say, okay, let's go watch a movie at the same time. Let's go tune in at the same time. Let's go on Netflix and chill. Let's do quarantine and chill. Because I've seen that. That's like a hashtag right now. Quarantine and chill. All right, how does that work? Do you actually risk it all and go to each other's houses, or do you turn on the TV and you play the watch time at the same time, and that's the way that you're bonding? I'm not sure, but I can imagine
that's a very. No, I'm saying like, sorry, I don't want to interrupt you there, but like that's just an interesting fact of watching TV at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's important with that? Good internet. What if the girl doesn't have the best internet? What if her internet's slow? Then you gotta pause. You gotta say, okay, well, I'm at 10:37. Okay, I'll wait for you. If she doesn't have that 5G, bro,
what if,
I'm gonna have to filter her out.
If she doesn't have the right, if he or she doesn't have the right internet, what does that say about them? Maybe you want to go on a date with somebody that has better internet. Maybe that's the case.
I'm high maintenance. Make sure to have the right internet connection.
Maybe when you start talking to somebody, you just say, "So how you connected? 4G, 5G, 3G? What's your connection status look like?" Maybe that's the new currency.
I think Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, they need to add that to everybody's profile. That's important, especially in this new world.
Yeah. What's your internet looking like? Because if you are on two different wavelengths, you don't have the same speeds. Virtual dating is a no-no. All right, so we're gonna jump. We're gonna leave the shallow end of the pool, the dating end, and we're gonna get into a little bit deeper. We'll gradually get to the deepest part. Right now, we'll get to friendships. Right. So you and I, this is the longest I think I haven't seen you in like the duration of our friendship, maybe.
Yeah, man, it's been a long time, bro. It's been a long time.
I don't think I've seen you since we filmed like the handshake thing. I don't think I've seen you since then. It's been like a solid.
We've been doing our part of social distancing, making sure that you're safe, make sure I'm safe, make sure our families are safe.
For sure.
Right, I'm just chilling out here with Bunny. I made sure that she's all taken care of.
I know it's not our pan bunny, but and I know it is a corporate show, but I got Pikachu in the place to be.
Yeah.
right now. You know what I'm saying? Pokemon in the house. You
Yeah,
know,
but
not not.
in terms of friendships, it's obviously a different dynamic. You know, you and I can't, connect the way that we used to. Obviously, doing the pod like in person together. But
Right.
outside of that, with regular friendships, it's different. You know, obviously you're gonna WhatsApp groups are on fire right now. Everyone's just messaging away because that's all we got. No one wants to pick up the phone and call each other. I get that. But then
Right.
there's like, video calling, FaceTime. And we have the rules of FaceTime. Some
We're
people
the
aren't
rules of
adhering
FaceTime.
to
Yo,
FaceTime.
it's funny.
They're not adhering to the rules of
Yeah,
FaceTime.
they're not adhering
Not
to the rules of
adhering.
FaceTime. But it's tough to adhere to the rules of FaceTime because right now people are looking the worst. Like there's no there's 100%, there's 100 excuses right now as to why your hair game's not on point, why your beard game's not gonna be on point. There's 100%. There's 100 rules as to why. Like the new normal. If we're gonna talk about the new normal is looking bummy. And if Puff Daddy is looking like a bum, then why can't we look like bums?
Yo, Diddy looks like he's 70 years old.
Yo, he looks like Granddaddy.
He looks like the black version of Master Miyagi. Like he's
He
gonna
looks
be.
like he looks like how like I pictured Moses would be in my head. Like that's what Diddy looks like to me.
It's true. It's true. It's true. And little Kim's probably like the burning bush. No pun intended on that one. But anyways, but in terms of friendships and like the dynamics, House Party. You ever seen that? You played with that app before? House Party.
We play with that app. Shout out to our homeboy Swarmski in the chat. We play House Party with Swarmski. Yo, we've been trying to figure.
House Party's kind of weird. Like people just join your conversations. One time I was
That's
just
dope. That's
chilling,
dope. That's dope.
And
That's
all of
dope.
a sudden this
That's
random
dope.
dude just joins in the conversation. I'm like, okay, who? Does anybody know him?
I don't think enough people know. I don't feel enough people.
Like I wanted to offer guys some I wanted to offer them like some popcorn because like, who are you? What are you doing here? It was weird.
I don't think enough people know about House Party, man. I think House Party, if more people got on House Party, they would realize it's incredibly dope. So for those of people out there who don't know what House Party is,
it's kind of fun though too, right?
It is fun. It is fun. So basically it's video chat rooms where people can play these video games while streaming their video call to each other. So basically you can see who's in the chat room. You could walk in with your video camera. You see everybody else there, people you've never met, and it's just like you're walking into a house party, man. It's like a throwback, man. Because like think about if you've ever been to a house party growing up, and like some of the most nerve-wracking times was when you're going into the house party and you knew that you only knew that one person in the house party. You knew the host maybe, or you knew the host's cousin or brother or whatever. You're just hoping to see them, to dap them up and say, you know what, I belong here. I'm not just here to like consume all of your products that you have in your house.
Yeah,
but house party, right. House party is extremely dope. We encourage you guys. We're not even shills. They should pay us, but we're not even shills for house party. But house party is a great way if you have a friend or if you have a series of friends and you guys want to connect and you guys want to have a good time or whatever. House party is a great way to do that.
You know what? Let's all set up a house party. Anybody wants to connect on house party?
Anybody wants to connect on our house party, we'll do the house party. Like, we've been trying to figure out how to stream a house party. We don't know.
Big shout out to PCX Live. He was talking about video calling will become more popular with friends unless sending audio clips, which are not very long. Yep, I agree with you, man. Like I think video calling will, again, this is part of adoption, right? More people are adopting the new technology. They're adopting more, there's Zoom calls. People are creating Zoom meetings now, right? So it's gonna be pretty dope.
So Pally,
let's give the people what they want in terms of like.
Diddy stays youthful through the Illuminati parties.
What was that?
Diddy stays youthful through Illuminati parties. That's what someone said.
Nice. Big shout out to Slice.
Big shout out to Slice.
Big shout out to Hair. Yeah, we got that. Okay. Let's give these people the tea though.
All right, we're going to the deep end.
Let's go. We talked about the dating. We got to go a little bit more deeper now.
Now we're
going the real deep end here. So we went from dating. Talk about the surface level friendship. Let's talk about the married people and what they're doing right now. or what they're not doing.
Okay, so in quarantine, and this is
Uh,
just by social media. Okay, I've noticed a lot less people posting the happy family on quarantine. I've noticed it. Before, I would say people would have like a post count, so they have a post ratio. I say, okay, this person's posting like maybe once a week, twice a week, and it's always the happy family. They're going to church, they're going to a dinner or a birthday or whatever. And obviously, you can't do that anymore. But you got to be doing something. Family games night, maybe you're
yeah.
doing like a little Netflix and chill with your wife or your husband or whatever the case is. But that's not happening anymore. That's the
No.
new normal.
No.
The new normal doesn't really involve the happy family.
You know what's funny though? Leading up to this pandemic, what was the precursor in what we saw in terms of, let's say, Instagram posts about family? You know, the one post I cringed at all the time. Christmas. Everybody
Okay.
was wearing matching onesies.
Oh,
Matching
that's
onesies.
good. That's really good, actually. That's really good. Okay,
I hated that.
dive,
The only reason why I hated that is because I would scroll matching onesies. So I'm like, all right, cool. That's cute. But when I
Right.
see that happy family,
Mm-hmm.
and you know the dynamics, the real dynamics of that family, you're like, not so happy.
Yeah. It's fair
From
enough.
what I know.
So, what do you feel that the new normal looks like in terms of the happy family? Because right now, like our old perception of what the happy family was, it was 2.5 kids with a dog. Everyone's always communicating with each other. Things look healthy. Things look great. And we're seeing less and less of that. We're seeing now funny memes about divorce rates spiking, about people being unhappy. And what do you attribute that to? What do you think the reason is that people who are married right now are finding it difficult to cope with this new normal and being in quarantine? What do you attribute this to?
I know. They are experiencing the empty nest syndrome much earlier than anticipated, because you have a dynamic of people, of a couple that are together. Their connection is not as strong,
Okay.
right? And when your connection is not that strong, and now you are forced to really and truly be in each other's space, a confined space,
Mm-hmm.
that raises conflict. It raises tension. There's, debates about division of labor. He like, she's getting on him because he didn't do this, he didn't do that, the other thing. He doesn't want to hear her voice. Kids are like all over the house, running around, screaming like
Mm-hmm.
nobody's business. There's no intimacy because that's the last thing they have on their mind.
Oh, it's the
Not to
last thing.
like when you also remember, there's so many variables that come into play here. We're talking about the dynamics, the lack of connection. On top of that, he or she may have been impacted by a job loss. So
Mm-hmm.
there's that. Finances, there's the anxiety, the uncertainty. All of these play a factor, right? So, and like PCX is talking about, like, I think everyone's bonds is differently. See happy family and TikTok videos. But I don't think, yeah, you see happy families in TikTok videos, but the thing is, I don't think you have a choice but to be happy in every TikTok video that there is. Right? There's music. The editing is like, it's like super charged up.
Married
And
man need
Sharpsy talks
5G to
about
improve their
married mans
connection.
need 5G to improve their connection. Yeah, like they need an upgrade,
Right?
right? They do. You're right. But you take into account all those factors, Nick Flair, it's a recipe for disaster, man. The connection is important. If you're not talking and all you're doing a lot of times is probably just Netflix and chilling, as opposed
So
to just having conversation.
Here's the thing. So earlier we touched upon people really finding themselves within this time, right? And we talked about creators versus consumers, and a lot of people who were consumers might be turning the page and becoming creators. Now, in terms of relationships or in terms of marriages, there's two ways in which this could work. it could work in which marriages are revitalized, in which they're starting to learn more about each other, and they're starting to build more, and they're starting to figure out more about each other, and they're starting to communicate better because now they're having that time. Or it could result in relationships dissolving completely when you start to realize now that after these discussions have happened and after you started talking with each other, you start to realize, you know what, all you really had were some surface level things, which is difficult. And you're forced to look at these kind of things in the mirror, which is tough.
I agree. And that's the thing. Everybody's being exposed. So different viewpoints on what COVID-19 means to that individual is totally different. They may not even agree. One might be, over the top with, oh, you got to make sure to wear gloves everywhere you go, wear a mask in your house, you know what I mean? Where the other person might not be taking it as serious, right?
Right.
So there's that conflict there. There's so many things, and there's so many memes. Like, I got to get your opinion on these memes.
All right.
I'm going to bring it up. And obviously, I'm just gonna say what a couple of these memes mean. So this one on Instagram, y'all married people holding up okay? I haven't seen I'm so blessed, or he's my everything in a while. ...
Okay, first of all, that definitely comes from somebody who's scorned. It's definitely somebody whose feelings are very hurt, who is upset that they're not married. So let's take that into context, right?
Yeah.
Secondly, they are not wrong. They're not wrong in saying that, yeah, man, those memes about the happy family have drastically decreased in numbers. It's not really popping off like that anymore. People are not really finding the joy in each other anymore, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate too.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to all the posts I used to see right back in the day, but now you don't really see that. Everyone's fully focused on themselves, whether it be their fitness. Hey, I'm reading this new book, or I went for a run. It's all about them.
Yeah, you know what?
PCX said a comment. I think people are, anxiety and stress high, like you said. I think communication is essential and key. No, we totally agree with you, man. Communication is essential and key. And the thing is, the situation that we're in right now forces you to reconnect, communicate, and really get to know that individual that you married, which is sad to say. Okay, next one. This is one of my favorite ones. 30 plus with no kids. ... How them loud ass kids treating y'all during this 24/7 quarantine?
Again. Let's talk about the source right now. The source is probably somebody who is unwed, who is childless, who is alone, right? And alone it's cool, you know what I'm saying? But like, you got to think, is that person saying that from a place in which they're not jealous of that kind of life, or they weren't previously jealous before that? They wanted that lifestyle for themselves. It didn't happen, and now they're taking joy, or they're taking solace in everybody else's destruction, right? You gotta think. Yeah. Man. You gotta think. Yeah. So many people are happy.
There is that subset. There is a segment of people like that are definitely taking the solace in the fact that, hey, you know what? I'm glad I didn't have any kids, because now, you know what? COVID-19 is pretty much like birth control for the rest of people that don't have any kids. It's a glimpse into, because I got upset at this person saying, oh my God, like, I got to take care of my kids. This is nuts and this and that. In my head, I'm like, buddy, you had the kids. The kids at the end of the day are a blessing, but you had the kids. Take care of your kids.
No, 100%.
Why are you going to complain now? Because you got to spend time with them? There's so many people out there that want kids, but can't have kids and would love to be in your situation. So this is a time where, more than ever, we have to be grateful and appreciate all that we have right now. So it's really unfortunate that we're seeing this at this point in time. Okay.
All right, we're jumping out of the pool and we're getting into some more shallow matters. Well, actually, no, it's not even that shallow because we're talking about health now. We're talking about physical health and we're talking about mental health, right? And what the new normal means about people's physical health right now. And we are like I used to always be in like before I broke, I used to always be into Fitbit. And Fitbit would always tell me a number of things. It'd tell me about my heart rate. It would tell me about how many steps I took in terms of walking throughout the day. And it told me about how many calories I would burn, right? And you really underestimate how much how much more active you are just going to work. I mean, my job in my job, I do actually physically move around a lot, right? But for other people, even if you don't physically move around a lot, you're still getting up, going to your car, driving your car, going to work, walking up the stairs, getting to your desk, going to lunch, talking with your colleagues, going to meetings. All of these things have calories or have different activity things that will ramp up your heart rate, right? And it'll make you physically active. Your body's gotten accustomed to that's the way your body operates. Now, if you take that all away, right? And now you're telling people just to stay home, don't do anything, don't really move around anywhere. And like both of us live in houses. Like not everybody lives in a house. Some people live in a confined space. They might live in an apartment. They might live in a room. You know what I mean? We can't speak on everybody. And for the people who don't have that space to do things, and me living in a house and you living in a house, you know that this space is not enough, right? We need to get out. We need to do things, and we need to be motivated to do things, right? Like part of my routine physically was I would go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week. I would play basketball 2-3 times a week. Those things are out of the picture. You got to think, how much less activity am I getting?
Hercules. Sorry, go ahead.
How much less activity are we getting just by a result of this new normal? And what impact does that have on our physical health?
Oh, for sure. Like, access is one thing. Accessibility in terms of getting access to, the gyms, especially like the 24/7 gyms. There's none of that. I love CrossFit. That's my thing. Can't do it. Big shout out to Coach Simon. He gave some equipment to some people, but I was kind of late to the game and I didn't take advantage of that. But I'll do a couple of workouts. I'll find some stuff on YouTube. I even sent it to you. I said, "Yo, try this out, man. Do some burpees, man. There's a lot of burpees.
A lot of burpees.
A lot of burpees. I hate burpees, but I love burpees now because I just got to do them. But outside of that, I'm running now. I ran 7K the other day. Twice.
7K. Marathon.
Marathon. Man, I just got to keep it. I was trying to get my David Goggins going. Shout out to David Goggins, wherever you are.
David Goggins, if people have one book they need to read through this whole entire pandemic, I would say Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. That's a must read or must listen to, because the audiobook is actually better than the book because they got the commentary when they're going through the book, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, but what's also interesting too is that people are challenging each other. Like you've seen on Instagram, people are saying, "Hey, push-up challenge, give 10, like do 10, give 10." There was a lot of that. You got to do what you can, right? Because that's all part of staying healthy, staying active, and it's part of the whole mental health. Like PCX is talking about, he's been losing more weight since being off of work. Vending machines are not in his peripherals, which is good. And he said, yeah, readjusting can be a challenge for people who work at our gyms. Of course it is. It's a huge challenge, especially if you're dependent on the gym and you don't have weights at home. You're going to get bored of just doing push-ups and sit-ups all day. You need variety. So, yeah.
So let's talk about the elephant in the room. And it's difficult, man, about mental health, man, because like we're seeing people slip, like, and there's some times when I feel myself that it's easy to slip, man. It's easy to slip. It's easy to feel like, this sucks. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's easy to get into a funk, bro, and you got to fight. it's a constant struggle. It's a constant fight to stay motivated and to stay active in your own mind. You know what I'm saying? Some of the things, look, we speak daily about the same things, and a lot of it is just trying to stay sharp, man. It's trying to stay sharp in your own brain. It's trying to remain creative while you're not being inspired. I would say that 90%, or even more than 90, I'd say 99% of our creative like thoughts and the ideas that come to our minds, even this podcast in itself, is motivated from things we experience in the everyday life. And if we're not experiencing anything, or we're experiencing things on a much smaller scale, it makes it difficult to be creative. It makes it difficult to be inspired. It makes it difficult to really find yourself, or not to find yourself particularly, but it makes it difficult to experience life and all it has to offer. And I think that this is a good place and a bad place for particular people that haven't really taken a look in the mirror as to what their life is like. And those people are forced to look at themselves, and you have to decide, do I like what I see, or do I not like what I see? Not necessarily physically, but just in terms of where you're at. But in terms of like our thing, like, we're just speaking from our perspective because we're just two content creators, is just that creativity for me is a reflection of what we're going through on a day-to-day basis, a reflection of what we're doing in our everyday lives. And if we don't have those experiences, it's difficult to get into that creative space.
1000%. It's a slippery slope. Like, this situation that we're in right now, this is a global situation.
Right.
Again, first time we've all experienced this within our lifetime. So it's new to us. We're trying to adjust, but as humans, what do? We adapt. However, you talked about the mental state, and that's obviously what we're talking about, mental health.
Right.
It's easy to fall down that path of, man, like, I'm all stressed out, I'm super anxious. But I feel personally, for me, last year was my anxiety high, and I felt, and I believe in God, and I feel last year was preparing me for just challenges in general that happen with life. And to me, when we say the new normal, yeah, that's what everybody's dubbing it. I want to dub it as it's life. We got to adapt, we got to adjust, we got to pivot, we got to shift when stuff happens. So if you don't build your strong mindset, and there's multiple ways that you could do it. I do it personally by getting up in the morning and I meditate. Through that meditation, I'm saying what I'm grateful for, what I'm thankful for, showing appreciation. After that, I'm going to take a cold shower. And you and I both, you kind of put me onto that whole cold shower thing with Wim Hof method, right? And there's so many benefits to that, and that reduces inflammation, right? And that helps with your immune system. So imagine that. If I didn't put all those things into practice and build that mental muscle last year, I would probably be super anxious about, oh my God, what am I going to do, and this and that. But now when it comes to creating, you and I get in funks. We're like, damn, like our views.
What are we talking about now?
We're losing views. What happened to our views? Like, what happened?
Oh man, like if anybody has an opportunity to scroll through our views, it's a very depressing story. we were really feeling ourselves.
It is.
We were really feeling ourselves. We had a stint in which.
Big shout out to the magician. I miss you, man. I haven't seen you since like '86. That's what it feels like. And the magician, for anybody that doesn't know what the magician is our videographer. He's super talented. Shout out to Slice Imaging, good dude. But yeah, like we were on a high.
We had a period in which I think it was 5 out of 6 videos had 1,000 views, and like we were really feeling ourselves. We were saying, all right, man. I remember myself. You remember what I said? I said, yo, man, I don't care about 1,000. I want 10,000. That was what I was saying. And we got humbled. Yeah. And now the creativity's gone and people are more into COVID and whatever happened. It is what it is.
And I get it. Tiger King, I get it.
And Tiger King took over the whole thing.
Carol Baskins.
Things slowed down. So I mean, we have to grow, we have to adapt, and
Sure.
we said, you know what? Instead of putting out, because we do have a bunch of content that was recorded before, but we don't feel that people are in the mood for it right now. Like it's people are not inspired, and like
Yeah, we have a library, people. We want to
we do.
expose it. We definitely do, but it's kind of like our content's kind of getting lost within the shuffle of everything that's happening around COVID. And that's kind of the challenge for us as Nick Flair and I create this content for you. We got to be even more creative. This is why we're trying to come out here live on a weekly basis to interact and engage with you guys. So for anybody that's just joining now, we want to thank you for joining this live broadcast of Pandemonium Mondays, first episode live.
And it's also too to give you guys I guess a snapshot as to how we are when we're not, because our thing, people, our show, people really think that we're extremely well produced and that like we do a million shoots and we do a million takes. A lot of our shows are just one take. It's just one take. Like the angles change because magician does his thing, but it's just one take. So
like,
I
look
think
at the feedback that we get a lot. Oh, just be yourselves, right? Like when we come on the show, we're
it looks like
and it looks like it's scripted, but like we don't script anything. We're saying, okay, we're gonna talk about topic 1, 2, 3, boom. Everything is improvised.
Boom, let's go out and we'll do it. No script. We don't know what we're saying. Let's go out. We'll go out and we'll do it. And then I think that this live experience will give people an opportunity to say, yo, these guys are kind of just like the show all the time.
Yeah, so PCX Live is saying mental health is important. Meditation and binaural beats on YouTube. Yep.
What beats on YouTube? I'm looking down here. What did he say?
And I apologize if I. Sir?
Yo, PCX is a creator himself. Yo,
that stuff. I apologize, PCX, if I mispronounced that. It's just the way I spell things.
I don't even know what it is. I think that PCX should make.
You gotta say, hey, PCX, I want you to send me those beats, please, because I need it. And then he's talking about, bros, I know y'all just got there. Trust in the process. I agree with you. We gotta trust the process. We gotta go through it. And you know what? I want you guys to go that are viewing today. Go visit PCX Live. He does a lot of live broadcasts himself. Super talented individual, has a lot to say. Does a lot of reviews on movies, a lot of content. The guy's dope, man. Like,
yo, man, he knows
his mindset. Just follow him.
He knows his thing, man. He knows his thing about movies. He's particularly big on comics. We have some guests that we might be lined up for Pandemonium Mondays. One of them, PCX. Yo, man, he's a big time comic dude that's got a few million subscribers. We're hoping to secure him, and maybe you know who he is. We'll see.
All right, cool. Let's move on to like grocery shopping. Like, what has life been?
The new normal of gross cake.
About grocery.
For me, it's drastically different. For some people, it might not be different. For me, it's drastically different. Like, I never say it on the show, but for those who don't know, I'm on a plant-based diet. I've been on a plant-based diet for 3 years, right? I always try to play it off. I try to make it look like Reg is the one that's trying it. I've been doing it for 3 years. And one of the primary functions of my diet is eating like fresh fruits and vegetables. That's what I do. I go, what I would do is I go to the gym, and then there's a grocery store by one gym, and then I go to another gym that's by work, and there's another grocery store by that gym. Now that I'm not going to work, now I'm not going to the gym. Like in grocery stores, you don't really want to chance it. You know what I'm saying? People are in confined spaces together, and you just want to do it on a selected couple of days. And so I go grocery shop. I went from grocery shopping 2-3 times a week to since this started, I've been grocery shopping 3 times. I've been grocery shopping in the past 5 weeks. I've done grocery shopping 3 times. I load my cart up. I drive it around like it's the
formula. Time out. 3 times through this whole pandemic.
The whole pandemic.
Will you bougie now? Will you get your groceries delivered to your house? How does that work?
Nah, man. Like I go to Costco and I just load the cart up. I do like $800 runs, man.
I refuse to go to Costco now. Only for I refuse.
You're not doing Costco.
I don't want to wait outside and like just to
Yo,
get
you
inside of
got
the
to go
door?
early. You have to go early. You go early and you get in. You get in. Some people say going late, but you going early. I go in early. I get the big cart. I load it up, but I don't load it up with fruits and vegetables. I load it up with all this canned nonsense that I would never eat before. So like I'm eating a lot of beans and lentils and like rice and pasta. Like I'm not a big carb guy, but like what else? What other opportunities do I have right now? Fruits and vegetables are not. I'm eating some frozen vegetables and stuff like that, but fruits and vegetables are not a viable option for me right now. So I mean, like it's tough, man. Trust me, I've been thinking about them canned sausages a lot lately. The ones in the blue can. Trust.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I used to love the ones with the blue can. My parents used to make that all the time in the mornings. Yo, wicked with eggs.
Oh my goodness.
No, grocery shopping has been a thing, and that's a thing. Like, I'm convinced based on what we're seeing. And before I get into this, big shout out to Chills Willie. He's talking about WTF, you wear it, you're home, fam. Yes, I'm home, but I'm doing my thing. I want to stay safe out here on these streets and even in my own home.
Why not?
But when it comes to grocery shopping, I don't know if you've encountered this, but I have encountered it multiple times. It's interesting. People are so aware of their surroundings more now than they were ever before. So
Right.
the whole social distancing thing, it's like I'm going down an aisle and and they're making like I got people like going up against the wall and I'm like, okay, easy, buddy, easy. I don't have a gun. I'm just walking. I just want
They're
to
just
get.
like, yo, I got a cough and I ain't afraid to use it.
Listen, I just want the broccoli over there. I just want the broccoli. That's it. I'm on my no carb thing. You know
Yo,
me. I'm trying to stay
but
fit during this
people are
season.
super polite though. They're super polite. Nobody wants to rub you the wrong way. Nobody wants to touch you. So nobody wants to get no beef. Nobody just wants no problem. They just want to get their stuff and get out.
But I think that's what's going to continue. Like I think the trend post this whole COVID-19 thing, especially this, it could be in a grocery store, it could be anywhere public. People are going to be very cognizant of where they step, where they go, who touched them, who brushed upon them, right? Like, the thing is, I'm not being racist by any means when I say this, but I feel that the Asians had the foresight to this because they used to wear the masks, the gloves before, and I was just like, well, why are they doing that? And I know a lot of it was for pollution and this and that, but now it's like, man, you guys are smart. You guys knew about this, right? But it's just different now. I go into the store and I'm seeing tape on the ground. They got people managing lines and saying, oh, this aisle's just one way. You got to go to the other aisle to get over. And I'm like, is this how we're living?
How's your diet change, man? The things in terms of things you're buying. Yo, you and I talked about this before we went live. What's the one thing we said we have a lot more now?
Oh man.
What do we say? I have a lot more what? Money.
Oh. Balling. Like
balling.
Like because we're not going out. Like bottle service up in this crib like there's no tomorrow because I got the money now to do it because I'm not spending it over just frivolous things. So that's a benefit of this whole COVID-19. Financially, like you can save a lot of money. Think about all the gas that we were burning and all the money that we'd spend on gas. Now it's just like you're just chilling.
Yo, the bars
not going out that much.
Clubs are closed. Restaurants are closed. And the thing is, like you don't realize how much things add up because I would probably go out to eat maybe once or twice a week. Like whether it's going to lunch or like if we're at your place, we get pizza or we get a burrito or whatever. Whether you're going to go hang out at a bar, whether you go, patio season is coming, and like right now would be the NBA playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And during last year,
man, you know what? I didn't even realize that. I have no sense of time. So I'm.
Oh, that's another thing. I don't make sense of time. It's new normal. You don't know what day it is. You don't know what month it is.
Hold on, Chills Willie wants to say, yo man's is going to gas stations or 7-Eleven and pepper spraying and grabbing stuff and bouncing.
Is that what he's doing?
I guess that's what he's doing. Listen, Chill's
He's
Chill's
pepper
really
spray. He's running up in the gas
not,
station. He's pepper spray.
bro.
And he
You gotta
bounces.
get Lysol. You can't get pepper spray. That's a whole different ballgame, man. We're not there yet, man. The zombies are not here. We're just taking it one step at a time. This is phase one. PCX is saying animals look at you. Where are you humans being in? Okay, where are you humans been? So animals are looking at us like, okay, like nobody's outside. Like, how come you guys aren't like interacting? Like nothing. Like they could run free and
Yo,
do stuff.
bro, I've been hearing animals like in the mornings now. So I wake up and you hear like 18 different species of birds, like
I can
all
hear.
chirping.
Did you hear? I heard snakes the other day.
You heard snakes?
That's how crazy it is. I feel like they feel like they come out now and they hear snakes. Like snakes are coming out, man.
So the environment's better. The only thing that's really suffering right now.
Have you ever heard of a possum? I heard a possum the other day.
What does a possum sound like?
It sounds like a mixture between a bat and a dog barking. It's weird.
How do you know what a bat sounds like at all? You ever encountered a bat?
I watched Batman, all 10 of them.
Yo, I bet you PCX has watched 11 of them. PCX probably has like 8 scripts for Batman right now, bro.
Yeah. Maybe PCX is Batman. Maybe he is.
I thought about it. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure though. I thought about it. Anyhow, what are your spending habits looking like? So we're on the topic of shopping, right? And we got a friend, a very luxurious friend, who likes to spend his money very freely. You can find him with sunglasses on in an infinity pool near you. He's always taking pictures. He's always buying stuff, and he says he doesn't care. He's the first guy he's gonna be buying stuff on Nike. He goes, yo, man, people want to work out and they want to coordinate. I don't know if that's the first thought people are thinking right now. I think because of the impending recession or depression, people's first thoughts are not to go out and buy things, right? Like people are not spending, and the stores are shut down too, right? And people are not really thinking, if celebrities are not taking care of themselves physically or they're not dressing the freshest, I don't think Joe Blow is thinking about, yo, I need to get this new shirt, this new pants. Because we are a part of an instant gratification generation, right? And usually when you buy a new outfit or you buy a new set of clothes or whatever the case is, you're buying it for that weekend. You're buying it for a party you know is coming up. You don't just buy it just because, right?
Yeah.
I think if anything, people.
Well, I kind of messed up on that. Adidas was having a sale. I don't know. I said I messed up. Adidas was having a sale, and I bought like 3 pairs of shoes. But I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do? Like, they're just in the shoe box. It's not like I wear them anywhere. Like, I try them on. I wear them in the house, and just to kind of feel like I'm doing something. But that's all I do. Like, it's just stupid. It's pointless at this point in time. You can't show them off.
You know what?
And I'm not gonna be that guy. Like, yo, I just got a new pair of shoes, so let me take a snap and shoot it up on Instagram. I'm not that dude. You know that. It's weird to me. It's corny.
Which businesses do you think are running the most traffic right now?
What businesses?
Yeah.
Zoom. Zoom is killing it. As a business, everybody's on Zoom now.
Oh
Everybody
yeah.
that wasn't on Zoom is now on Zoom. That's what I think.
In terms of merchandise, I mean.
Oh, in terms of merchandise? FUBU.
Can't deal with you, bro.
FUBU right now is probably killing it. I think what's that guy's name again? Is it Draymond? Yeah. Creator FUBU. He's got a whole bunch of inventory probably just kicking in his garage. He's probably having a really nice garage sale right now, and it's flying off the shelves.
I think Amazon's crushing the game right now. Amazon, because people don't want to leave their houses. Anything they want is
yeah. Amazon, that's par for the course, right? Like it is what it is.
I mean, funny story. We were trying to get microphones to record our live shows microphone splitters, and we went to Amazon, clicked it. We were like, okay, we'll get it in 2-3 days, like usual. Amazon gave us expected delivery time 6 weeks, so we just said forget it.
Yeah. PCX is saying he saw bats, and this is going back to the animals. I saw bats in my old city live. So live in person, okay, over my friend's house randomly. And then he's talking about in terms of buying stuff, he bought books, nothing super crazy. Some music CDs, all stuff, decent price. So if you're buying CDs, PCX, please tell me you're buying it at like 10 cents on the dollar. If it's CDs, please tell me you're doing that. And what type of books? So give me one book that you're reading right now.
Give us a book recommend. Quarantine
recommend.
Give
me a book that you recommend to everybody watching this. And it's not. I don't want a comic book. I want a real book. More than 150 pages. We'll wait for him to come back with that book. In the meantime, what shows you watching?
Right now, there's only one show that I'm watching. Just one show. And it was actually a recommendation from the Reggolution. It's called Dave. And it's a funny show about...
Dave.
Dave is a funny show about like...
Dave is my jam. That's my show.
Oh, it's a funny show about a rapper that's just on the come up. That's just like, he's like a meme rapper. It's just something you got to watch yourself, man. It's just like... It's like a nerdy dude who's trying to become a rapper, and all the trials and tribulations that he experiences as a result. So I can't even get into it. I can't even say on YouTube what some of the things he says. It just go check it out yourself. It's pretty funny.
For all those who don't know who Dave is Little Dicky. And for all those that don't know who Little Dicky is, he's the guy from Chris Brown's one of his music videos, or just one of his pieces of music. But Dave is hilarious. It's about how Little Dicky kind of like gets started in the industry, but obviously there's a lot of fictional elements to it. Super funny. It's on FX. If you haven't watched it, please do, because it's super hilarious. One of my favorite characters from Dave is Gata. So Gata is like, this skinny dread, Cali slang to the fullest, but really trying to get in where he fits in type of dude, really trying to get people to like him. He's bipolar, and he kind of exploits that in one of the episodes, but really, really funny dude. And we're gonna try to get him on the show. Like I've reached out to him this past weekend. He's like, "Yo, I'm just kicking it right now." Okay, I said, "Okay, cool." I said, "Dude, we need you on the show." I said, "I'll follow you next week." And he's a celebrity, so celebrities are gonna probably like shaft us. Like, who are we, right? But you know what? You got to do what Gary Vee says. You just gotta keep trying. Just go. Just shoot them DMs. Other shows that like I'm watching too is like, I know you're only watching one show, so you are you, sir, are a scholar. I must say that you're watching one show. I'll listen to shows in the background. I'm doing work, and I'm just, it's kind of a thing that I do. I'll just have shows playing in the background. So shows that I have playing in the background are 90 Day Fiance. We've kind of talked about that on a previous episode. Tiger King, I fell into that trap. A guilty pleasure of mine, I'm not gonna lie, I watched Married at First Sight. Like, yeah, call me a hopeless romantic, but it's just funny how I love social experiments. I really do, because I feel that there's always a Married at First Sight. So it's like kind of like Love Is Blind, but worse, because you don't you haven't talked to this person at all. You show up in a suit. Your family is at the hall in the church. You're trying to guess who this person is. You have no idea. She could have a unibrow, and you'd be so mad at the producers. I'd be mad at the producers if they gave me a girl with a unibrow. I'd be so pissed. I'd walk off the show.
Why are they agreeing to
it? You're gonna marry at first sight me with a girl with a unibrow? Come on, kidding me? But these people are so
I don't think
like,
they're really getting married. I don't think they're really getting married. No way.
well, that's the thing. At the end, they determine who gets like if you want to stay in this relationship or not. And the thing is, like halfway through the season, you're like, dude, don't even like. There's a time for you to get out. They give you a window. Do you want to stay in it? And a lot of them say, I want to continue, knowing that they should be getting out. Get out. That's what you should be doing.
I just got a message from somebody on. Hold on. You eating salad? Yeah, I'm eating salad, bro.
Yeah, he's eating salad. Other shows, Ozark. Been watching that. Just watched season 4 premiere yesterday. Insecure. That was pretty.
Did you watch it? The first episode?
Yeah, I did. Issa. I don't know what Issa's on, man. There was an intimate scene, and I'm like, this dude that she was doing it with. I'm like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, now Quibi. If people don't know what Quibi is, get Quibi. Nick, Flair, and I are manifesting us. We want petitions rolled out during this quarantine season. We want everybody to vote for us to be on Quibi. We want our segments to be on Quibi. Quibi is a new app that just came out last week. It's short form for quick bites. It's another platform in terms of content to compete with the likes of Netflix and Disney Plus, but it's focused on content that is up to 10 minutes in length to deal with people like us that have ADD. I know we went way over 10 minutes on this one, but yeah. Outside of that,
I can't even deal with them. I've got a picture of me eating salad.
I know. My thing. Okay, one last piece of entertainment / content that I'm watching from time to time. Tory Lanez, Quarantine Radio, Quarantine.
Yo, if there's one person that came out on top, there's 2 people that came on top. 2 people came out on top from this quarantine in terms of entertainment. I would say one is Tory Lanez, because Tory Lanez, he has a new song out with like a Conor McGregor sample that people are really feeling right now. And I think the Quarantine Radio really blew Tory Lanez up. That's number 1. Number 2, and this is real recent, so it might just be recency bias, okay? But I think people forgot, I think, how dope the RZA is. And so the fact that there was a big beat battle the other night with RZA versus DJ Premier. Yeah, a lot of people now are saying that it was kind of like a tie. Like it was a big news. It was big Instagram live. And shout out to the people, I think it was Swiss Beats and Timberland that started the DJ battles, right? And people forgot about RZA's catalog, man. RZA right now, people would never say RZA is on the level of DJ Premier. Like when people did the pre-poll, they'd be like, DJ Premier is way better, DJ Premier. But RZA showed out. And a lot of people will say, I'd say more than 50% of people would say that RZA won that battle. So, I mean, Tory Lanez coming out as a champ from this whole quarantine thing. And people are remembering the RZA. People are going to say, yo, when's your next movie score? When's Kill Bill Part 4 coming out, man? Resurrector. He's coming out as a champ from quarantine, man. RZA, Wu-Tang. I saw like there's a meme going around right now. Quarantine is temporary. Wu-Tang is forever.
Woo! Wu-Tang! All right, chill. PCX is talking about your salad. He said he's joining you because he just had some salad himself. Tory Lane's smart for that, for sure. Chills Willie, RZA won. All right, see? Man.
See?
Well, we about to come off this live broadcast.
Shout out to everybody that was here.
We want to shout out to all the 10 million people that watched us today. Thank you, guys, for watching us.
Ski, PCX, Chills Willie, and people who are ghosting and just not saying anything. So shout out to you guys, especially the ghost people that stayed, didn't say anything. But that's dope.
And we want to keep this conversation going, people. So, let us know the first thing you want to do when the dust settles and there's no more COVID-19. What's the first thing you want to do? Let us know. Send us something on our IG at Pod About Nothing. Twitter at Pod About Nada. Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe this video because we want to continue doing this, especially during this quarantine season. Thank you for joining us.
We are
and until next week, Monday, more pandemonium starts. Continues.
So, IG Live. We'll be on IG. We'll debrief there. Pod About Nothing.
Be a part of something.